And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. If you want to talk about, think about this. If you had a tokenized security and you have a tokenized identity, right, you, Andrew, the moment you buy or sell an instrument, it is known. It's on a general ledger, right, that is all created together. I want to talk about issues around money laundering and all that. This eliminates all corruption by having, right, a tokenized system.
Jamie Dimon.
And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. If you want to talk about, think about this. If you had a tokenized security and you have a tokenized identity, right, you, Andrew, the moment you buy or sell an instrument, it is known. It's on a general ledger, right, that is all created together. I want to talk about issues around money laundering and all that. This eliminates all corruption by having, right, a tokenized system.
Jamie Dimon.
Hi everyone, sorry about the timer. Looks like it was set to 5 hours. That's a very, very, very long wait for you all, so I won't put you through that misery. Actually, I always do that with my microwave. I was supposed to set it for 5 minutes and I ended up setting it for 5 hours. Can you all hear me okay? Just let me know in the live stream if you can, in the chat if you can hear me. Yep, all good, okay. Great. Okay, let's get started. So there is heaps to go through. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, although I do love doing these. Let's just sort of get straight into it. There is a huge amount that we need to cover today, and I'm super excited about what we've got to go through. So first of all, let's go through the agenda. A little bit of an overview of ShareRing, who we are, what we do for those that are new to us. A bit of a recap on 2023, some of the objectives, goals, achievements, and so on. A little bit of a sneak peek into 2024, including products, features, ShareRing Foundation products and features, new partners, clients that we're working with. I'll do a few demos for you as well. And then a little bit of a discussion around some interesting rewards that we're offering as well. So let's get started. I guess the first part of this, and we haven't gone through this for a long time, our vision as a company really is focused on removing friction. So we've got this long-term vision of this world with no friction, like frictionless interactions, data privacy and trust at its core. Our mission is really about removing friction from everyday interactions and allowing our users, all of you, to maintain the highest level of security, trust, ownership, and control. What does that actually mean? I go to a hotel and I check in. There's a lot of friction. I have to give my passport, fill in forms. I was at a bank today and we were signing up for a new bank account. And I was in the bank for about 45 minutes, signing forms, filling out forms. They already had a lot of my information. They still wanted to make a copy of my passport, all this sort of stuff. Every day we go through these times and processes where we have to give our identity to people or fill in forms, whether it's online, offline. We need to prove something about ourselves. Our goal is to turn that into a seamless experience. The other side of it, when we talk about security and trust, there's been an increasing number of very, very large hacks lately. And we've got this view of these hacks where what we believe is the hacks can be avoided in the most part if these organizations don't store so much information about us. They create honeypots of information where hackers target them because there's a lot of information that's very valuable that they can get hold of. So our goal is to really reduce that oversharing of information so that people only need to share just the right amount of information that they need to share to be able to access the service or the goods or whatever it is they're trying to access. So good example, if you're going to a nightclub, you only want to be able to prove that you're over 18. There's nothing else you need to prove at all. Why do we have to give our driver's license to someone with our home address and all of that sort of stuff on it? There's so many examples of that. When we sign up for a phone account, sure, we have to prove who we are. We do KYC and all of that sort of stuff. But once we've proven who we are, why do they need to keep all of that information? They only need to keep, say, our name, address, and phone number for billing purposes, not much else other than that. So our goal is to sort of enable all of that frictionless access and put us, the users, back in control of our data. Now, that's basically who we are as a company. Now let's go through a little bit about what we did in 2023. So we all know that 2022, 2023 were very, very difficult years for the whole crypto industry, especially for companies that really relied entirely on crypto to survive. Luckily, we aren't that. My guess is there's probably a lot of tokens out there that are still trading, but the underlying teams probably mostly disbanded or are working other jobs. What we did in 2023 is we focused on building our product. At the start of the year, we sat down and we looked at what do we need to achieve to build a very, very strong and scalable business out of ShareRing. And there were three primary areas. One is build on our existing foundation and find the right product market fit for our technology. As a reminder, we're not purely focusing on Web3. We're not like a protocol or anything like that. Our job is to bring Web3 technology to the masses. We're not focused on bringing the masses to Web3. That's a very, very big difference between us and a lot of other projects that exist. The other thing that we needed to do in 2023 is educate the market. So around the business clients, the businesses that we were talking to, on the benefits of self-sovereign technology, reusable identities, and leveraging blockchain to achieve this. That was a really big uphill battle until I'd say probably 3 or 4 months ago. There was this catalyst that basically happened a few months ago where we're trying to educate all these organizations why it's better to store less data, why self-sovereign and reusable identities are great. When we got the certification from the UK, one of only 2 self-sovereign identity providers or blockchain-based identity providers, when we started talking to organizations, suddenly they're like, we want this, we get this, this is great. And it allowed us to really sort of test the market a lot and start sort of working on, how do we move our product into what they basically need. Number 3 was around getting a number of clients on board and using our product. So we've achieved all 3 of those, and they were our big goals at the start of last year. Went through a lot of pains, a lot of hard work to get there, but we're actually really happy with where we are right now as an organization. There's a famous saying that it takes about 5 to 10 years to become an overnight success. We're on track for that. So more specifically, let's cover a few of the highlights from 2023. We covered a lot of this in the blog, but I'll add a little bit more color to some of these. So we launched ShareRing Business Solutions at the start of last year, and the focus of ShareRing Business Solutions was really about pushing the sharing technology to the mass market via our business to consumer channels. We made a few sort of, I wouldn't say wrong terms, but a few launches that we sort of started that were effectively non-starters in 2021 and 2022, and they were more focused on consumers. So we wanted to launch something that was consumer product, and what we very, very quickly realized is to be able to scale like that, we would burn too much money. It would be very difficult to do that. We wouldn't have enough users to be able to do that. So we moved back and looked at what we were doing and focused more on the business to business side so that we can leverage their consumers, and that's sort of turning out to be the right model that we had. So the obviously to do that required a lot of work. So new product roadmap, business plan, marketing plan, budget. The uptake of that sort of was obviously quite slow at the start of the year, but now we're really starting to sort of get some traction in that area, which you'll see shortly as I go through some of the use cases and clients. On the tech side, we released the new Identify Me app, which will soon be rebranded to simply be called ShareRing Me. We also developed an easy to understand credibility system for digital identities. So what that means is that when someone loads their identity into the system, it's verified as either ShareRing checked, ShareRing verified, or user added. And there's another one which is third-party issued identities as well, which I'll go into a little bit later. The credibility system also leverages the verifiable credential token that we built, and also our cross-chain DIDs, which will be launching shortly alongside a few live projects that are actually cross-chain ones. So these things will allow real-world projects to heavily leverage the blockchain, which will obviously increase the transactions that are generated out of the back of that. A lot of focus has been into user testing to ensure that our product is as frictionless as possible. So part of that, our mission, as I said before, is really to remove friction from everyday interactions. So if the app is hard to use, then we're failing in that goal of removing friction. So there's been a lot of work in that there in terms of how does a user load their identity? How do they gain access to, say, checking into a hotel or signing up for a bank account or something like that? So there's been a lot of work in there. We also released Vault Query Language as a public beta. That's been hugely successful for us. We had hundreds of queries created and a lot of really, really good feedback from the companies that have used it. This was very successful and obviously instrumental in guiding us to our next release. So I'll cover that and do a bit of a demo later on in the stream. From a ShareRing Foundation perspective, so ShareRing Foundation is really the Web3 focus, so the underlying blockchain, share ledger. Our focus was obviously predominantly towards supporting the requirements of ShareRing Business Solutions, so we could get to market as quickly as possible. We did do a bunch of other things that will be leveraged soon. So we've launched the contracts and code for Soulband Tokens on Share Ledger. That's going to allow people to leverage their self-sovereign identity in a purely Web3 environment. So good example is you'll be able to, say, access a decentralized exchange that might have sanctions, like may require someone to not be from a country that has sanctions against them, for example, or maybe you need to be a sophisticated investor to use some sort of DeFi product, or maybe you need to be over 18 to access a metaverse. So you'll be able to do all of that whilst remaining completely anonymous using the Soulband tokens that we'll be launching. We launched verifiable credential tokens, as I mentioned before. So what we've done is we've effectively taken the WC3 VC verifiable credential standard and tokenized it to improve the provenance and security of any identities that are created. So with our VC token, even though it's on the blockchain, there's still no personally identifiable information stored on chain. We also added smart contract support to ShareLedger with Cosmosm, which is a highly efficient Rust-based smart contracts engine. And we've also added, but not yet leveraged, the incentives for smart contract developers so they can earn directly from contracts that we've published without the need to launch another token. So let's that's interesting. So let's talk about the future of our company and the identity ecosystem that we're building, and I'll do a couple of demos as part of this as well. So firstly, what we know as VQL, which is Vault Query Language, we're rebranding that as ShareRing Link. So the focus for this platform is really around self-service. When we launch this rebranded and completely revamped platform, any company anywhere in the world will be able to onboard themselves and leverage our reusable identity at a fraction of the cost of our competitors, but obviously with a higher level of security, user experience, and speed. So hang on, let's just do a quick demo of this. This is going to be cool. I'm just going to share my screen. Oops. Bear with me 2 seconds. These are live demos, so if anything goes wrong, it's because I've got a bad internet connection. Whoopsie daisy. All right, so this on the left-hand side, you can see my app. On the right-hand side, you can see the dashboard for ShareRing Link. So first thing I'm going to do is log in. So logging into ShareRing Link doesn't use a username and password. It simply uses a QR code. So for those that know sort of login security, we've basically enabled this system to use technology called OAuth 2. And you can even bring that onto your own sites, websites and things like that, and use our app to be able to log in. So simply, open the QR scanner, scan that, make it use the app, and then it should fingerprint to prove that it's me, and it'll log me into the site. There we go. So new dashboard, new look, new feel, all this sort of stuff. We've got 2 types of plans. One is a free plan. Free plan basically gives anyone that wants to build access to non-verified information. So that would be things like you could do things like user added information, user attested information, non-verified identities, that sort of stuff. First thing you can do is go in here, you can set up an endpoint. So I've got an endpoint going to an email address. You can add API endpoints or anything like that. So an endpoint is basically where is that data going to be sent. We initially had it only going to APIs, but the feedback we had was for some less sophisticated organizations that don't have a development team, they simply want to get basic information sent through to email so they can manually process that information. Some locked things here that allow for premium users. So that's for paid users, things like user management. So it does support multiple users now. You can have an admin function for organizations that need to run multiple queries. You've got reporting. So the reporting here is really focused on the types of queries that are run, the types of information that's being received, but you won't actually see any of the information that has been received through this dashboard. We don't store any of that. That goes directly to the organizations that we're working with. There's the help information, which is basically fully, very, very well documented about everything about our system. And then if I go back to query, I can create a query. So this has been streamlined to be extraordinarily easy to use. I'm not going to go into this in a huge amount of detail. I will go through a couple of example queries. So this is a simple age check. So they put the details, they put their company name in, they put the scheme, which basically means if someone scans, say, the QR that's created out of this with a standard QR scanner, what will actually happen is it will automatically open the Identify Me app, or if they're on a mobile website, it'll deep link into the Identify Me app. So that means that the system works A, in real life, scanning a physical QR code, B, through standard website, scanning their QR code, but then also deep linking from app to app or even website to app as well. If I go next step, we've completely overhauled the way that you build queries. So before there was a requirement to have a bit of JavaScript to create them. Now what we've got is you simply go in and click the bits of information you need. Maybe add a custom value, favorite song, and then on the right hand side you can actually see what information is being collected from the user. And then the next step, you say which ones are mandatory, so which information is mandatory, which ones are stored on the user's vault after they send it. So if you're asking favorite song, maybe it's what we call a one-time use, which means it sends it but doesn't store it. If you want to store it locally, then that's fine, use that there. If you want to go into the JavaScript, you need to be on the advanced plan as well. Signing up for the plan's easy. We just go in here, there's usage-based fees, and simply go upgrade now, and it'll take you over to the payments to be able to pay for it and use it. Easy as that. So there's a huge amount of power behind this. What we've done is obviously try to make it as simple as possible for anyone to use, and we are very, very excited about the launch of this. So you'll see more and more marketing of this over the next few weeks. We're actually launching this platform over the next couple of weeks as well. So this is pretty much development finished as well. So other things that we have done, let me just go back to my notes. Releasing 2024. Okay, so we've also, as I mentioned, recently released Soulband Token. So I'll jump back and do a bit of a demo on how they work shortly as well. We're doing our final testing on our DRD implementation. So basically, DRD is really the key to make sure that ShareLedger is and our technology works cross-chain. So it gives us the ability to use DRDs across not just within the Cosmos ecosystem, but outside of Cosmos as well onto other chains. So effectively, the DRD will allow users to leverage their identity with this unique decentralized identifier across virtually any blockchain. So it uses a single seed phrase to generate this DRD that becomes a cross-chain identifier that's the same identifier across any chain. We've already got one integration that's being planned cross-chain with another chain outside of Cosmos, and another couple that are quickly following behind that we're already in discussions with. We're also about to launch a Discord plugin that anyone can use, and one of the amazing things about this Discord plugin is that it allows for gated roles within communities. So for example, you could run a community that has an area that is like an SFW area that requires someone to be over 18 to be part of. All you simply do is you can put a button within your Discord, or even just make an inline command, say verify. It'll show a QR code within Discord that you simply scan with the Identify Me app or Sharing Me app, and then as soon as you scan it, if you're over 18, it will automatically give you access to that role, so that channel. You don't need to go out of Discord. You don't need to go to another website or anything like that. This happens entirely within Discord. We have another query that allows the Discord channel owner to check for country as well. So if someone's, maybe there's a channel that's specifically for people from Australia, and they can basically do roles based on what country you're from. Once again, just scan the QR code, completely anonymous. Your identity or your information is never sent to them. It's only proof that yes or no you are from that country, or yes or no you are over 18. And we'll be adding some more queries to that down the track as well. So I believe the team that are going to launch that in our Discord channel as a bit of a test to see how it goes, if they haven't launched it already. So that's a really exciting sort of thing, and that's just an example of a few other widgets that we'll be building over time as well. We've got our web wallet, which you'll see shortly. That's going to be released shortly. That's just going up to the Google Store to be on the Chrome sort of downloads list. We've also got AI avatars, which I will also show shortly. That's going to be launched pretty soon. And then we've got native NFT minting as well. So that's now exists on Share Ledger. So most of these things that I've just gone through are actually ready to go. Longer term, our roadmap includes, number one, tighter integration and standardization with other Web3 identity protocols. So we are in discussions for this type of integration, more use cases across all of our technologies as well. So not just sharing me, not just sharing link, all of our technologies. Integration with Web3 name services to allow for friendly names within your account. So we may integrate with, say, ENS or some of the other ones to make sure that you actually have friendly names within your account, so they're more easily accessible as well, especially when you're starting to use Soulband tokens. Another one that we've had a lot of questions for is creating the liquidity pool on Osmosis. So that is in our near-term roadmap. Offline functionality for sharing link and the apps. So this is a really interesting one. So the sharing link itself relies on some amount of web connectivity. So when I scan with my phone a QR code to say log into something or send my data, it does send data through the back end through our API to send that and then also does the online blockchain check for that. One of the things that we're building is the ability for things such as events or very busy areas or places with bad mobile service for you to still be able to share some amount of information or prove something about yourself, maybe just prove you're over 18 or you have a ticket or something like that, without the need to have a mobile service connection. So that may be through integration with Google Wallet or Apple Wallet. So what we'll do is have the ability for you to generate an identity that gets passed to Google Wallet, and then once it's in Google Wallet, you can scan, say, NFC or something like that to be able to transmit that information. So that's another part. There's the wallet integration as well. The other one, which is going to be huge, is the third-party issuance of verifiable credentials. So what that basically means is a third party, such as a bank, is a good example that we're discussing now. Well, once they receive your information, check it, verify it's correct, they will actually be able to create a verifiable credential back into the user's vault that basically says, this is your bank ID. And then that person, when they go, say, to another place to get a loan or maybe a car sharing thing or something like that, they can use that bank issued verification or ID to access that service. Or it could be a graduation certificate from a university or anything like that. What we're building into that is the ability for that issuer to actually earn share token for all of the transactions that they create as a result of them issuing that verifiable credential. So for example, this bank that I mentioned before, they could issue a credential into someone's account, and then everywhere that person uses it, when that company, those companies use, say, ShareRing Link to get that information, part of the payment that they make for that data will go back through to the bank, effectively offsetting all of their costs for using the identity solution. So it becomes, I wouldn't say it'd be a profit center for the bank. It's not going to be big enough for that, but what it does is it offsets their technology costs significantly on that. But what it also does is it allows for this whole sort of ecosystem of people within their customer base to have a higher level of authority with their ID when they start using it across other companies and things like that as well. We've also got a number of smart contracts that we're building out that are very focused on transactions. We've been asked a lot about having more transactions. So most of those are very Web3 specific. A few interesting things that we're building out there. And then also a code library for the Soulband tokens so that you can implement them on your own sites. You can use them on some of the examples I said before, like metaverses and things like that. Let's jump into another couple of demos. What I'm going to demo now is, what shall I demo? Let's do Soulband tokens first. And then we'll do, after Soulband tokens, I'll do the AI avatars. So Soulband tokens, we don't have it in the app yet. So what I'm going to demonstrate is what we use internally as one of our tools. Let's go over to that. Oops, there's another mistake. Okay, so what you see on the screen right now is basically just one of our development or test interfaces that we use. This is used to for basically testing any sort of development that we do. So testing transfers and all that sort of stuff that we do. What will pop up on the screen right now is our web wallet. So this is basically a Chrome plugin of the web wallet within here. So what I need to do first within this tool is just connect. So I'll connect to the wallet. I'll connect to the one that's got some funds in there. And then all I need to do on the Soulband token side, which is on the right hand side, is just give it a name. So test SBT1 and call it 1, 2, 3. So what this is going to do is it'll deploy the contract for the Soulband token. So an organization, if they're, let's say you've got a project and that project is creating a DeFi project that requires people to be over 18 and not from a sanctioned country, as an example. The first thing that they would do in Link is create a Soulband token contract. So that's what I'm doing right now. So deploy that, I'll approve that transaction through the web wallet, and then wait a few seconds, and that's done. So that's basically created a transaction on the chain for that Soulband token. What I'll do is I'll copy that and jump into the account on here and show that transaction that happened 20 something seconds ago. And you can see that it's created the contract for test SBT1 from the Soulband token contract. So that's basically been created. So the contract exists. Now what they would do is allow their clients to mint on behalf of their users the Soulband token tokens themselves into the accounts. So as a reminder, a Soulband token is effectively, it's like an NFT, but once it goes into that person's account, it can never be moved. So you can associate it with identity related things. We've restricted our SBTs so that you can only use them for zero knowledge type of transactions, which means that personal information is not stored within the SBTs. We are looking at using one of the privacy networks to be able to actually have some element of encrypted data in there, but still not sort of PII sort of stuff. And then that person, once they've got that Soulband token, can then use it for Web3 specific engagements or even some other non-Web3 things. So if I go back in here, I can then mint a Soulband token. So I'll mint it to this same account. So I'll basically mint to this contract address, token ID, I can put an IPFS link in there if I want to as well. Oh, hang on, that's the to address. I need the contract address, which is this one, I believe. Yeah. And I mint, and then I approve it in the web wallet again. And that would have effectively minted, or will mint, a Soulband token. There we go. Transaction successful. And then if I go back into transactions for this, I can see 18 seconds ago, there's executed the contract for this, which has effectively minted the Soulband token 28 seconds ago. So this, whilst I'm doing this on testnet right now, this is actually available and live on ShareLedger production as well. So while I'm here, what I might do is quickly set my screen up and share the app screen so that I can run a bit of a demo for you on AI avatars. So let's just bring that into the middle there. There we go. So this is my, where's my phone? This is my phone screen here. Within the app itself, so once you download the ShareRing Pro app, what you'll be able to do is go into the avatar itself, which is at the top, and then you can go generate AI avatar. And within the generate AI avatar, you simply give it a name, just whatever name. You select the style, so let's just do anime or even 3D, gender, skin, purple skin, oops, I can't spell, purple skin, hair, no hair, eyes, purple eyes, nose, no nose, and clothes, black hoodie. And then you go generate, and then it'll go off, it'll generate the avatar. It takes a few seconds to do that. And this part costs nothing. So you can create your own avatar within the system, and then once you decide on one that you do like, then what you'll be able to do is actually mint that as an NFT and save it as your avatar within the app itself. So once you've saved that avatar within the app, you can then use that within ShareRing Link for questions where it requires maybe an avatar or image or something like that. So sometimes it does take a little while to do, but whilst you're waiting for it, you can actually go back into the gallery and have a look. So you can still see that's generating. Here's one that I made earlier. So this one here is actually already been minted as a NFT as well. And then I can even transfer that to someone. If I go into my, oops, there we go, that other one's just come up. So if I look at that one there, if I like that, that's spooky. I did say no nose, so AI is not perfect. I can go mint NFT, and then it's going to ask for my confirmation on that there. It'll tell me what the gas fee is on that. Say yep, do my fingerprint to sign the transaction, and I've just minted the NFT. So that's basically done. So now if I go into, say, my NFT space, whoops, within here, then I'll be able to see that. It just takes a little while to refresh on the screen as well. But it's already, you can even see it's already saved it up the top there. So they're kind of spooky. So that's Soulband tokens and AI avatars. So as I said, the AI avatars is free to use. We will be launching it in the next version of the ShareRing Pro app. The ShareRing Pro app, we'll probably be releasing that very, very, very soon. So stay tuned, and I'll let you know when we're launching it. So next up, let's talk about clients. Single biggest question we have is who's using this technology. So let me go through that list. So basically, client perspective, yes. So we've onboarded, as anyone that sort of read our blog or anything like that, we've onboarded our first public client, which is Profit for Life. We did that a few months ago. They surpassed 1,000 users late last year. They've got a lot more users. I'm not sure of the exact number, but they are still growing. We already have also completed the launch of a white label version of ShareRing Me for a Singapore-based client. You'll hear a lot more about that in the near future. I think they're planning to launch around March timeframe. We've also, as we announced previously, entered into a partnership with a Japanese mobility firm, Organic Mobility. They've got some significant clients in place that they're working with. They are still in the process of developing out the platform for some of those clients. Also very happy to announce that we have a couple more banks in the Caribbean who are going live shortly via IIC, our channel partner. We've also got a large Australian client who's commenced the integration process with our product. We've signed an agreement with them that they'll basically be doing a proof of concept to start with. So you will definitely hear about that one very, very soon. On top of that, we've also got a large global travel visa company who will be running a public pilot with us from March. So we will be inviting people from our community to test that for some steep discounts and other benefits. So that's something that we'll do a lot of marketing and press around sort of, I'd say late February, early March. You'll probably hear about it a little bit earlier than that. Some other smaller implementations underway include a small hedge fund startup in Melbourne, a charity in Melbourne who's basically doing KYC on their volunteers, a fund manager in Melbourne as well who are doing some tokenized investments also. So I mean, I think the really exciting thing from this is, as I mentioned at the start of this call, when we started putting together our goals for 2023 around clients and testing and all of that sort of stuff, what we've seen over the last few months is this change from the technology being not very well understood in terms of why would I need self-sovereign identity, how does it affect us as a business, to organizations are now saying, we get it, we need it, we want it, and asking us how they can effectively implement the technology that we've got. So, you know, for us, I mean, that's really, really exciting that we're sort of getting to that point now where clients are basically coming to us and asking for this. And this is a really big reason why we've launched, or we're launching, the ShareRing Link with the self-service, because as a business model for us, if we had to hold her hands with every client that came on board, customize a solution for them, you'll never see transactions. We'll never see enough clients to make enough revenue from it. So what we've done is we've effectively moved our clients into 3 tiers. Tier 1, top tier, which is the large enterprises. So they're ones where it's more of a consultative engagement. We're developing a very specific identity solution for them. You know, it's something where it's a 6-month project or even longer, and there are tens, hundreds of thousands of people that would basically come on board. Tier 2 clients are really ones that they're not huge, maybe 10,000 users, maybe 50,000 users, but they do require sort of some brand recognition within it. So what's really important for them is what they want to see is white labeling. So they'll take our SDK, which we have, and they'll put that SDK within their app to actually use it, or they'll take our existing app and then just white label that app. The other type of customer is tier 3, and they're the ones where they are simply self-service. They'll basically go into ShareRing Link, sign up. It might be you know, small businesses, generally businesses with a good tech team, businesses that don't really need their own app or something like that. And we sort of expected that to be some really good, strong bread and butter and a lot of scale there. And I guess the call to action for all of you on this video, on this chat, on this live stream, and anyone that watches it later, is if you work for a company, know someone in a company or anything like that that could use this as a solution, contact us. Go to our website, click the contact us form. We will offer rewards and incentives for you to be able to do that. They are going to be very, very good incentives. We already have, as I mentioned before, a couple of channel partners that we're working with. We've got a couple more companies we're talking to that want to be channel partners. In terms of our sales focus, it's very, very much within outbound sales within the Australian market. So we're actively looking for opportunities in the Australian market across 3 areas. They are travel. So travel meaning things like hotels, travel visas, any other places sort of where passports required and that sort of stuff. So travel related things. The other area is around sort of entertainment and gaming. So that would be things like nightclubs, bars, pubs, slot machine access, any sort of things like that, both online and offline. So alcohol delivery, point of presence, alcohol purchases, those sorts of things. And then the third area is within finance. So finance is really around KYC. So banks that require KYC from their people, funds, hedge funds, those sorts of things. So if you have any that fit within there, let us know. In terms of global opportunities, they're mostly through our channel partners or self-service as inbound clients sort of wishing to just sort of sign up for ShareRing Link. We'll provide support for them, and they can basically sign up and build their own queries and be ready to go in a matter of hours. It's a very, very quick process. So we are getting towards the back end of this. We have allocated an hour. I think we'll sort of finish early. Maybe I'm talking too fast. So basically, what we have coming up, the marketing team are going to announce this really, really soon, is for our token holders. There is going to be multiple snapshots. So there's going to be a few parts of this. One is really around token holders, and then also incentive programs for bringing on new users. So rewards for referring other people that download, create IDs. So we want to maximize the number of downloads and number of IDs that are created. So we'll be providing rewards. I have been asked by the marketing team to take a snapshot. So I'm just going to quickly get my camera and do a quick snapshot. There we go. So we just did a snapshot now of anyone that's holding and also staking. So people that are staking a few extra benefits. We will be doing another snapshot next week as well. So don't worry too much. Another interesting thing is what I'm going to do right now. I did hint earlier that we are releasing the ShareRing Pro app pretty soon. So as I'm talking, I'm actually on our Google Play console, and I'm going to click release on that so we can actually release the app now. So this is going to be feeding out to the stores, Apple Store and Google Store, probably over the next 15 to 30 minutes. So you can now download ShareRing Pro app and do AI avatars. And then we'll have the ShareRing Link launched pretty soon as well. All right, so that sort of gets us to the end. I think I've pretty much covered everything. So just on that, so Osmosis launch, we will be launching 100% on Osmosis. There was an issue with the cross-chain bridge that we had with it timing out with the way that we had it because of lack of the usage of it. So that's been fixed. We just need to sort of launch that. That does require, it will require us to do a governance proposal and launch that really, really soon. So that's it. End of the stream. Thank you so much everyone for attending, and thanks so much for the support that you've all shown us through the bear market. Really excited for as we move sort of towards a new bull market. Also to be honest with you, I've never been as excited as I am now about where the future for ShareRing is and what our opportunities are with what we've built and what we're currently selling. It's huge. That's absolutely amazing what the team have put together. So very, very proud of the whole team. Quickly, staffing update. So there hasn't been a huge amount changed in terms of staffing. So we did close a couple of our offices earlier this year. So we closed our Dubai office, and we reduced the team in the Thai office, and a lot of that is really around what I mentioned earlier about the refocus of ShareRing Business Solutions and really focusing our outbound sales within Australia. Development team hasn't really changed. Still a very good, strong development team in Vietnam, marketing teams in Hong Kong. We did bring on another person who's working directly with me and leading the operational part of the business. So he's Ryan started a few months ago, so we'll have something official coming out about him soon. He's basically come from as CEO of a publicly listed company in New Zealand. He's been CTO of a number of publicly listed companies. Very, very strong sort of background, and we're working lockstep with each other in terms of building the business. So having Ryan on board is really helping me focus more heavily on the technology and our strategy, and also getting the product out there as well. So it's been a really, really good thing bringing him on board. So that's it. I really appreciate you all joining us, and you'll hear a lot more from us and me over the next couple of weeks. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.